Okay, so I'm probably going to be doing this thing of reviewing games and movie franchises. And today, I'm going to be reviewing the Deadpool franchise. So let's not waste any more time and get into the first film.
I'm touching myself tonight.
Deadpool. This movie released in early 2016 after some real-life events led to folks believing in Deadpool as a franchise. Following the horrendous excuse for a movie called X-Men Origins Wolverine, Fox still gave it a very modest budget of around $58 million and it returned over $780 million worldwide. That's more than Superman, by the way. It's safe to say that this movie was a financial success. So what do I think of it? Well, I liked it. I watched it around June this year, but I do remember the plot of the film, and I really did like it. Before I get to the plot though, let me touch on two things first. The comedy.
But deadly. My chrome penis friend back there has agreed to do me this solid. In exchange, I said that I would consider joining his boy band.
It's not boy band.
Sure it's not.
The opening actually got me hooked, with the distinct music playing in the beginning, the jokes being well written. Deadpool doesn't stop telling jokes, and I love it and I'm there for it. He knows that the movie isn't too serious, so Deadpool plays with it as much as he can. Now to the visuals.
Wade Wilson! What's my name?
Ooh, I'ma fucking spell it out for you.
For a movie with a very small budget for a superhero movie, like if it's an average independent movie, then this is like a high budget, but for a superhero movie, this is a very modest budget. It looks good. The fight scenes were fluid, and it didn't feel like they cheaped out. The Negasonic Teenage Warhead's powers look nice. Colossus looks like he's fully CGI and looks better than the Colossus in the original X-Men trilogy, and that's a fact. Now, onto the plot. It's a story that shows Deadpool's origin story as a hitman who's good at his job. He gets a girlfriend and they have good chemistry. Basically, life goes well for him until, like a usual superhero movie, it doesn't. He gets cancer. Yeah, the plot just can't continue to go well for our guy. Just when their relationship was going deeper, Wade is scared. Wade is quite desperate because he will soon die. So he finds a way, but it's a trap. If I remember correctly, he was scammed and kidnapped, and a sadistic scientist called Ajax experimented and tortured him. Basically, he activates Deadpool's dormant X gene and continues to torture him. Deadpool escapes though and prepares revenge against the invincible Ajax. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I don't know how his name is supposed to be pronounced. So like, bear with me on that. And also during the experiments, Deadpool gets kinda ugly. Like he was Ryan Reynolds hot before, but now he's, let's just call it a shell of his former self. Yeah, so I have a few criticisms when it comes to this movie. Small, but still present in the movie though. Firstly, there's too much ambiguity in the universe. That's not really a fault of the movie, but the fault of the Fox X-Men franchise as a whole. I'll get into that when I'm doing my X-Men video. So if you're excited for that, subscribe please.
Let us go talk to the professor.
McAvoy or Stewart? These timelines are so confusing.
So yeah, I think I've made peace with the fact that it's a slight reboot to the overall universe. I'm sure the guys over at Marvel will even be more confused when they start writing Secret Wars. Yeah. Secondly, Ajax or Ajax wasn't really a good villain. He was quite one note beyond running from Wade, kidnapping his girlfriend, and being a sadist. I can't think of anything memorable about him in this film. Okay, that's about it for what I don't like about Deadpool. So I'm giving this movie an 8 out of 10. I want to Deadpool 2.
Stab you with it! Watch out for this guy! Cable! Very short, 5'11", not like in the comics!
This is another good movie. It has a lot of same old, but it still works. This time instead of Wade going on a revenge arc, he goes on a depression arc after his girlfriend, who he was going to marry, got killed right in front of him. Yeah, it's like he intentionally added that to the script so that he'll go on that arc. Not like it just randomly happened. He did it to himself. I think he acknowledged the fact that he wrote that in the script and killed his girlfriend, even though she was quite a popular character and the fans loved her. So yeah, Ryan Reynolds knew what he was doing. because he even acknowledges it in the movie. So Deadpool started spiraling and doing a bunch of irrational things like joining the X-Men, for example, even though he was just a trainee. He attacks an Essex worker in his first job and gets arrested. He meets a young boy and he kind of acts like a bad person towards him. A lot of stuff happened, man. He leaves the X-Men, he forms the X-Force. By the way, all of the people in the X-Force die except for Deadpool and Domino. Brad Pitt was in the movie for like 2 seconds. And also Cable, or you better know him as Thanos. Thanos pulls up in the movie, but as Cable, as a time traveler this time. Yeah, and definitely Deadpool acknowledged the fact that he's Thanos. He kept on calling him Thanos out of nowhere, and Cable was just there confused. But yeah, Deadpool knows Deadpool is a fan of the MCU, guys. That's quite apparent. I love the recurring jokes of Papa, can you hear me? And the X-Men trainee joke. Like anytime Deadpool said he was an X-Men, someone will always be there to tell him, yo, remember, you're just a trainee.
Name is Deadpool, and I'm an X-Man.
Trainee!
Shut it!
Single-handedly, my favorite joke in this movie was when he kept on calling the Xavier Institute empty, just for the X-Men to cameo. But like that was like 2 seconds.
Where the fuck is everyone? It's always just you and Negasonic Teenage longest name ever.
I said no touching.
What the fuck? You think the studio would throw us a bone? One that doesn't end up in my mouth. The first movie made more money than the guy who invented pants. They can't just dust off one of the famous X-Men. How about that Potts with the giant pigeon wings? What do those do anyway, huh? Carry him 3 feet off the ground to snatch up the nearest muffin crumb? No, 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 no.
It ends with him using Cable's time machine to bring his girlfriend back to life. He may or may not have killed that Austrian painter when he was a baby. The movie keeps it quite vague, and he also kills Ryan Reynolds when he's about to take the role of Green Lantern because he says that he's doing Canada a good favor. I wonder how that universe turned out. Yeah, this was a good movie. A bunch of same old, like I said before, which isn't a bad thing. And I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. Now, on to the last one, Deadpool and Wolverine. Ah, now it's what I thought was the best one. But it's not perfect, and now that I think of it, the first two are actually more character focused on Deadpool. I read comics, but I won't act like I've read more than 2 issues of a Deadpool comic. Yeah, I've only read 2. I won't act like I know his character front to back, so I don't know if he has much more development to do from the books. In the movie, it was hinted at there was more character development available for that. His girlfriend just came back to life, and it seems like they aren't together again. And the movie pushes it back to the side, like deep, deep, deep in the side. We don't really get an answer, so I guess the movie loses points for that. But here it was a multiversal adventure with cameos that actually did something. I love Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, but damn, the 838 version of Mordo was useless as hell, and by extension, the whole Illuminati. But I did love seeing Professor Xavier in that movie again anyway.
Wanda, Black Bolt could destroy you with one whisper from his mouth.
What mouth?
So duty calls as Deadpool's universe is about to be destroyed by Paradox, a dude in the TVA. Also, that kind of contradicts the ending of Loki season 2, but because I love the movie, I'll ignore it. I'll also ignore the fact that the movie kind of made the multiverse a bit harder to understand, but like I said, I'll ignore it. I think I'm done complaining about the movie, but I've somehow convinced myself that this isn't my favorite Deadpool movie anymore, especially in contrast to the first one and the second one. I wanted the good stuff. Number 1, Wolverine. Number 2, Wolverine again. And number 3, Wolverine suits. Okay, that's not all the good stuff, but I needed to highlight that. I liked seeing the Void and the people there, but there's a big but, like a very huge one. Bringing Deadpool into the MCU carries a lot of Fox X-Men lore, like Pyro and Azazel being in the same movie, even though Azazel is from the 60s and he's dead from what Magneto said in X-Men Days of Future Past. But you know what? It's the Void, so it's probably picked from somewhere in his timeline. Cassandra Nova was an interesting villain. She was just evil with immense hubris, like she was very, very prideful, and they embodied the story of Icarus so well, like Icarus from, is it Greek or Roman lore? She was proud and power hungry that she flew into the sun, and with the power of friendship, she got burned by Deadpool and Wolverine. Wolverine also goes on an arc about second chances and standing up to the fight even though you couldn't before. And at the end, He was willing to sacrifice it all. Also, Johnny Storm, Blade, Gambit, and Elektra made cameos, which is cool, I guess. Blade and Gambit are definitely cool, but Elektra from Daredevil Season 2 and Johnny Storm from Fantastic Four First Steps easily clears those versions of Elektra and Johnny we got. Sorry, Chris Evans. I love those your two movies, especially in contrast to Found Four Stick, but Joseph Quinn solos you. No offense. I mean, your Captain America is good, but Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm is superior. I just can't lie. So at the end, Deadpool's timeline doesn't get erased. Matthew McConaughey makes a cameo. Surprisingly, they get new anchor beings and they live happily ever after. So I'm done with this movie. I'm giving Deadpool and Wolverine a 7.5 out of 10. Now on to the ranking. So Deadpool and Wolverine is in last place. Deadpool 2 is second and Deadpool is first. Don't get me wrong, the movies don't progressively get worse, if that's what you think. The first two are interchangeable for me, it really depends on my mood. While for Deadpool and Wolverine, it had to lean into some plot conveniences, some stuff that were made up, and a bit more multiversal confusion to even exist. Because like, how can you get that Ryan Reynolds version of Deadpool into the MCU without breaking a few eggs like Ultron said in Age of Ultron? So I can actually cut it some slack for that. The Deadpool franchise is actually the most consistent franchise in the Fox X-Men universe, and to imagine the higher ups in Fox didn't think Deadpool was going to be profitable, yeah, that's crazy. Especially the first two movies, you can tell that the people making them actually understand the character and have a plan for him. So yeah, I love the movies. If you enjoyed, subscribe and let me know what franchise you want me to review next. It's probably be the X-Men though, but you let me know which one you want next, and bye.